Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you receive an email from Upwork asking you to update your W8BEN form or whatever tax form you use, this video is for you. Upwork is a company and it has its headquarters in San Francisco in United States. Hence, Upwork is subjected to the laws of the United States. This includes tax law. Before now, it is in the hands of the freelancers to report their earnings to the United States government. But there is a new development and Upwork has to comply. Talking about tax in the United States, the Internal Revenue Service in the United States is the revenue service in charge of the United States government tax, which is responsible for collecting U.S. federal taxes and administering the Internal Revenue Code. U.S. citizens living abroad, irrespective of what part of the world they are still expected to pay tax. So you might be wondering that my location makes it obvious that I am not a U.S. citizen, that I am not in the U.S. So they are not supposed to bother me with this tax law or no tax law. Remember, Upwork must comply with the U.S. laws and you work on Upwork. So why is Upwork asking us to update our tax information? This is to furnish IRS with an information about the non-US freelancers and US freelancers. So Upwork has to be able to prove to IRS that you are not a US citizen, and the way Upwork can do that is through your W8BEN form. If you're a US citizen, you can fill the W9 form. So what is the difference between the W8BEN form that you have filled before now, and why is Upwork asking you to update it even if you have a W8 form filled before? This is because the formal W8BEN form doesn't include your tax identification number. So now Upwork needs to verify that your tax identification number is there. They want to be 100% sure that you are not a US citizen for the purpose of tax. And if you don't update this W8BEN form within the stipulated time, that is before December 31st, 2022, 30% of your future earnings would be sent to IRS as tax. So it is important to complete the form by December 31st, 2022. Without the W8BEN form, the US tax requires that Upwork withholds 30% of your future earnings on the platform, and they would send that to IRS. Why would Upwork collect US tax from you, despite the fact that you are not in US and the client you work for is also not in US? What actually happens is that when clients pays you on Upwork, they actually pay Upwork Escrow Incorporation. That means they pay Upwork, then Upwork pays you. This means that Upwork is your client. Upwork is required to report the payments that they make to you to IRS. That's to US Internal Revenue Service. That means whether you upload your W8BEN form or not, you would be subjected to tax. We are not exactly sure how this is going to go for now, but that is what it seems like. So 30% will be charged if you don't upload the form, but you might get some tax reliefs. That means if your country is under the tax treaty, you might not even get charged or get charged very little, not 30%. Then countries like Nigeria, unfortunately, we are not under the US tax treaty. We would have to bear the 30% in full. So let's just see how things roll out in January. My opinion is this: maybe we might need to charge a bit more to make allowance for the 30% extra we would get charged. I just know that there would be some natural form of adjustment to this, and this is not going to break your freelancing career. But before we go further, please hit the subscribe button to get more information about Upwork and to learn some of my tips and tricks that helped me to become a top rated plus on the Upwork platform. So now, when it comes to the tax identification number, the TIN, in Nigeria, it is also called TIN. In India, it is known as PAN, and it is called different names in different countries. I've seen GSTIN. So it might be anything in your country, but then that is a tax code that the revenue service, that the body in charge of tax in your country assigns to you. That is your TIN. So if you are in Nigeria, how can you get your TIN if you don't already have it? Visit jtb.ng. I have the exact link in the description below, or go to the nearest FRS office to you. Ask the secretary or whoever you meet on desk that you want to get a tax identification number form. That's a TIN form. So to please Upwork encourages freelancers across the globe to update their tax information on Upwork platform. So please, the earlier you do that, the better, because there is a deadline. I am not a tax advisor. Visit your tax revenue service office or contact your local tax authority. If you did not get the email from Upwork, maybe you should check your spam or just click the link to update your tax information in the description below. So let me know if you have any challenges in the course of updating your tax information on Upwork. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not. Thank you.